Welcome to Pilates for Happiness, a mind and body Pilates, a wellness approach class. Are you ready to breathe, move, and flow?
We'll start in flexion. So you'll lay on your back to prepare for our chest lift. Our feet are supported by the floor. With your body in supine on your shoulders and your back, bring your hands behind your head. Keep a neutral spine here with a single blueberry-sized space beneath your low back. Begin to lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the floor while keeping the same space beneath your low back consistent. You'll pause with your spine curled at the top and begin to lower the head, neck, and shoulders down to start with control. I like an exhale to curl my mid back into my chest lift, and then an inhale to lower the head, neck, and shoulders back down again. Feet stay light through the movement.
Notice what you feel in your body. Take a moment to notice your breath. Now take a moment to notice what your brain is telling you. When your mind begins to wander, bringing it back to this very moment. When your brain begins to resist this very moment, thank your brain for your humanness and come back to this moment.
Leg lift with chest lift hold. Arms extend straight up. Imprint the low back and middle back against the mat before lifting your legs to tabletop. Now, chest lift the head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Bend at the mid-back and extend out to a 45-degree angle. Begin to lift and lower the legs only as far as you can keep your low back and mid-back anchored. Arms stay long and active outside your hips, and your gaze stays right along your quads. If the neck begins to feel tender, you may always lower the head, neck, and shoulders down and keep the head flat.
Happiness is an emotion, just like how sadness is an emotion. Feelings come and feelings go. They are not stagnant. Just like how we do not feel sadness forever, we do not feel happiness forever. Happiness is a fleeting concept, yet we enjoy those moments of happiness. As a human being, when we do enter those moments of happiness, many then begin to prepare for when the moment of happiness will pass. Today, let's embrace that happiness moment fully. Today, the challenge is to stay present in the moment and not fall to the past or preparing for the future.
4-point kneel. Flexion and extension with your spine. Kneel on all fours with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Extend the right arm forward so that your palm faces inward and your thumb faces up. Once you find your balance, you may extend the opposite leg back if your practice allows. Your spine is long, just as your arm and leg are long. Now we'll add flexion. We'll curl the spine as we bend the elbow and the knee in toward each other. Maybe they tap, maybe they don't. Now you'll extend the spine along with the arm and the leg back out to that extended position. You want to move fluidly with control, shortening your range of motion during flexion as the spine curls to help with balance.
What narrative have you created around the idea of happiness? Where does this narrative come from? Who in your life supports this narrative? How is this narrative serving you?
Extend the left arm forward so that your palm faces inward and your thumb faces up. Once you find your balance, you may extend the opposite leg back. Your spine starts long, just as your arm and leg are long. Now we'll round the spine as the elbow and the knee bend in toward one another. You'll lengthen the spine as the arm and the leg extend out. I like to visualize doing a cat-cow pose as the arm and the leg move in around my spine into that scared Halloween cat position. And as the arm and the leg extend out, I'll extend my spine for that cow pose. We are aiming for control and fluidity throughout the movement rather than an exaggerated range of motion.
Begin to think about a time you felt happiness. Where were you? Who was surrounding you? What did you see? What did you smell? What did you taste? And what did you hear? What did you feel?
Supine single leg bridge. Lay on your back with your knees bent up and your heels anchored. Hinge with the hips up to a bridge. Extend your right leg up, flexing the foot and pulling the toes towards your nose. Keep the leg extended up toward the sky at a 90-degree angle from your body. Now, keeping those arms lengthened, you'll begin to pulse the hips up, 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 continuing to keep the pelvis on a level plane. For 3, for 2, and 1, lower the hips back down, bend the knee and lower the heel down back into that starting position.
What is happiness to you? What feelings, beliefs, or memories encompass happiness? Few things hinder us more than our own ideas about what we deserve, and few things free us more powerfully than expanding our possibilities and giving yourself permission for happiness.
Begin with both heels anchored once again. Hinge up to your bridge. Extend the left leg up this time, flexing the foot back, toes to nose. Keep the leg extended up and begin to pulse the hips, keeping both of the hips on a level plane, using the backside of your hips to pulse up, up, up. For 3, for 2, and 1, lower the pelvis down, lower the knee and the ankle back down.
Remembering all the times you experienced happiness. Now imagine a friend that is desiring more moments of happiness. What advice would you give that friend? What would life be like if you took that advice yourself?
Side plank. Start laying on your right hip and right shoulder. Stagger the top leg forward and the bottom leg back. Your elbow stays anchored as you hover the hips up into your side plank.
What color is happiness to you? What shape? What texture? Every moment of the day and night, we experience multitudes of sensations such as happiness or negative emotions such as sorrow or no emotion at all. The smell of cookies, the wind, the sound of a car, laughter in the distance. And there are thousands of physical responses, such as your heartbeat or perspiration, that can equally accompany positive emotions such as joy or negative emotions such as fear, or can happen without any feelings at all. What makes these sensory inputs and physiological outputs emotions is the interpretations that gets added to them somehow, somewhere in our brains.
Let's transition to the other side for our side plank. Laying on your left hip and left shoulder. Your elbow stays down under the shoulder and your fingertips face forward. Stagger the right foot forward and the left foot back so that all 10 toes are facing the same direction. Activate the muscles that exist where the lower ribs lift. Think cinching your underbody as you keep the shoulders and the hips stacked and elevate them in a side plank.
Imagine yourself in the future being happy. Imagine what you are doing. Imagine what you are doing, and that what you are doing, it full of happiness. Imagine in as much detail as possible, bringing in that future self. Imagine yourself in the future being happy and bringing happiness to those you hold close.
Plank, center plank. Hands down underneath your shoulders. Extend out to a plank. Now cross the right ankle behind the left ankle so that the left foot stays planking against the floor. Keep the shoulders square. Begin to twist the hips towards the left so that the left hip will lower down towards the floor. Then you'll activate the abdominals to square your hips back off. We're only rotating to the left with the hips here. Keep the shoulders still as the pelvis twists. And then bring everything back towards center.
Thanking your body for having the strength to participate today and taking time to nourish your mind and body. Taking a moment to think about what actions would you like to take to move forward in a happy direction? What is the smallest first step you can take? Now imagine yourself taking that step.
Plank. We'll rainbow the hips in the other direction now. So extend out to a plank and now cross the left ankle behind the right ankle. We'll spiral our hips to the right now, keeping the shoulders square and the collarbone wide. My gaze is going to stay right between my hands as my hips rotate and square off.
As you participate in this pose, notice what comes up for you in the moments of quiet.
Kneeling with lateral flexion. Knees find the floor, fingertips right behind your head. Begin to drop the right elbow down towards the right hip. Rainbow the shoulders through center and then switch, dropping the left elbow down towards the left hip. If your practice allows for a progression, you may add a thigh stretch in with lateral flexion. To do that, you stretch the thighs back over the heels and tick-tock the upper body to the right, cinching the right side body. As you square off, you'll draw the shoulders back over the knees and then alternate by switching to the other side. If you chose to add this progression in, make sure that the front of your hip stays extended the whole time and that you're not leaning so far back that you're putting tenderness on the low back. Shorten your range of motion if that's the case.
Thank you for exploring this Pilates class wave. We hope it guides you through the rest of your day. If you like this class, please provide us with a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe to participate in future Mind and Body Pilates, a wellness approach classes.